Hey, how you doing? Yeah, cool music here, ish. Hey, this is a follow video for the D Dorian backing track. A little question popped up, and I've had this problem too. Where do you start with practicing these things? When you just start practicing, I think the first step is to memorize them so you don't have to think so much, the pattern of the scale. You could close your eyes and try it. Use a metronome. A lot of times too, if you're using the backing tracks, when you got a mode like practicing the Dorian that we were working on the other lesson, is you'll be in time. You follow the time of the track. That's a good way. Using a metronome, you can adjust the speed, how fast you want to try it. It doesn't have to be fast when you're just starting out. Let's say you've practiced a week and you got it under your fingers, then where do you go? Where do you start finding the melodies? It's easy to say sing the melody and then start playing it, and that's the optimal goal. But if you don't know the notes, how are you going to sing them? You're just going to be singing randomly, haphazard. So what I think you can, here's an example. Maybe if I pick these 6 notes from the D string to the G string, da 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 da, and then da 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 da, then you start having an idea of where you're at as far as da 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 da. That's one way to start singing them, or just put it in a register you could sing at. It doesn't have to be up here in D. Find a track in G, and if you're good at singing in the key of G, so try that. And along those same lines, one of the things you really should be practicing and practice singing is the arpeggios within the mode. And I don't think I talked about this much, but just like in the major scale has all your arpeggios for the diatonic chords. In other words, like it's got your G in this G pattern that we did a few videos ago. There's your G major, A minor, B minor, C major, 7th if you want, D major, so on and so forth. So does the D Dorian, so let's go over that. It's D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished or half diminished, and then back to D, C, D, and then so on. So we can either go further. There's that B diminished again. And then C. I mean, so on and so forth. But practice playing those. Why? Because most of your fundamental, easiest melodies to start with come from those. You could play this track that we talked about the other video, which is D Dorian backing track by UJam. All of these, for right now, just to get this stuff under your fingers, you don't have to think about them too much. Use your ears. Do a couple. Here, let's try this B diminished, and then C, and then here's a D minor. So off the D string, off the D string, we got like 3 pentatonics we could goof around with. I'm gonna play this track and let's see how they work. And goof around with. There's my C note. How about a C major arpeggio? Do da 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 da. Go between the 2, the diminished and the D. There's the arpeggio. What if we throw this note in there? Just ask, what if? Do 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 da, do da 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 da. A little pentatonic lick, you gotta know some of those. Back to those arpeggios. There's another C an octave higher. I'm just doing a little trill here. Went to that D. Here we go. I did a D minor arpeggio. Landed on the C. There's 2 arpeggios. Let's goof around with them. Let's try another arpeggio. What else? How about an A arpeggio, A minor? Put A minor's in there. A minor to a C. A minor. Or mix them together. Oops. Da 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 da. That's an G arpeggio. Obviously, G is going to work because the G is one of the progression chords. Try from the 5th going down to the root of the arpeggio. I played 5, 4, 3. Throw a chromatic note, just throw that oddball in. It's not supposed to be in there, but if we just use it as a passing tone or a chromatic note. Like an effect, like pig scrape. Whole bunch of arpeggios. It's important to name them as you go, or at least acknowledge them. Just so let's name them: G, B, C, D, D minor. Sorry, F, B, G, F major 7th. Motifs. Hopefully that helps, and that's a place to start, because I know when I was learning more complicated scales for like jazz studies, I was just not on terra firma, but what helped me out was doing arpeggios. And start there, because you got to start playing melodies, you got to start singing, you got to start hearing melodies in your head, and remember the word what if. What if I go here? And see how it sounds, and what can you build off of that? What will it go? Will it come back? Back to your start point. You want to keep going further. Suffice it to say, maybe Maybe start from less tension going to more tension. Maybe start from more tension to less tension, like a hard note, like a clashy note instead of like a root note. So, all right, have fun. Goof around. There's no wrong way to do this, whatever works for you. This is just some ideas. So, all right, take care. Have a good day.